Welcome to Movie Film. I'm Carl and I've just watched a movie called Escape from Pretoria. Escape from Pretoria stars Daniel Radcliffe, also known as Harry Potter to many, in a role based on real life. A story based about political prisoners and their prison escape during the apartheid times in South Africa. Now for the first half of this review, I'm going to try to keep it spoiler free, and I'll give you a warning to when spoilers are coming, because I think we need to deep dive into this movie. So keep an eye out for that. If you haven't seen the movie, I'm not going to spoil it for you just yet. Now Daniel Radcliffe is an actor you kind of feel sorry for, because no matter what film he does and how good he's in any movie, someone's going to come along and say, Harry Potter's in this movie, and yeah, I did it in this video, and I've probably done it in the title, maybe in the thumbnail. We'll see what happens. But he's kind of stuck with that, and I'm sure, you know, he sits at home and he just cries about that into his millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars he's made on Harry Potter. But now he's got the freedom to do whatever projects he wants. And he's now in this project, Escape from Pretoria, a movie which is listed as being made in 2020 and apparently was released in 2020 in some countries, but Amazon Prime, where I saw it, listed as a 2021 movie and a new exclusive to Amazon Prime, which I recently learned can be iffy depending on certain countries, because there was a movie recently called I Care a Lot, which came out in America on Netflix and here in Ireland and the UK and I think in Europe on Amazon Prime. So because they're calling them exclusives doesn't necessarily mean that those studios made those projects. It's just a case of who bought them first. Now, I own an Amazon Fire Stick TV 4K stick thing, and in the main menu, one of the things they do is they promote Amazon films, and the first one that came up this week was Escape from Pretoria. I hadn't heard nothing about it apart from seeing it on the Fire Stick TV stick 4K stick thing. So I said, hey, why not? Let's give it a go, see if it's any good. Daniel Radcliffe has been in some good movies other than Harry Potter. He's pretty good in Harry Potter, and he's pretty good in some other movies. What If? I think I've got it on the Blu-rays up there. That's a pretty good movie too. And Escape from Pretoria, it's a new role for him, and it's a fact-based role, so they're always difficult to get right. And I gotta say, he's pretty good in this movie. Now I can't say I'm an expert on South African accents, but to my ears sounded pretty good. Maybe if there's anyone out there from South Africa, they can tell us whether his accent was any good in the comments below. In the movie, Daniel Radcliffe plays the role of Tim Jenkin, who alongside his buddy Stephen Lee is arrested for political crimes in South Africa during the apartheid times. He's given 12 years in prison while his buddy is given 8 years in prison, and they end up in the same prison. So the movie is all about how they're going to escape. And Tim, played by Daniel Radcliffe, he's the kind of mastermind behind it all. He's the one who tries to figure out how they're going to open the locks, how they're going to get away with it, and how they're going to ultimately escape, and what they're going to do when they escape. The movie, for the most part, is really good, in my opinion. It looks good, it sounds good, fairly standard nowadays, especially when Amazon are investing money in it. You've got a good cast who all put in good turns, and the story's pretty solid with some very high tense moments in it. However, it's a prison break movie, and we've seen plenty of them down the years, including one of the greatest movies ever made in the form of Shawshank Redemption. So if you're making a prison break movie, even if it's based on fact, still has to be pretty damn good, because it's always going to be compared to those levels of movie. It's always going to be compared to something like that. I don't think it's on that level. It's not quite as good, but it is a very entertaining movie. At no point during this movie did I find myself picking up my phone because I was a little bit bored. And even if I did reach for my phone, I was quickly snapped back to attention by the movie because it keeps a good pace all the way through. So if you haven't seen the movie, I would highly recommend checking out Escape from Pretoria on Amazon Prime or whatever streaming service you tend to watch movies on. And now, with that being said, we're going to jump in to the spoilers, because there will be spoilers from this point on. So if you're still watching and you haven't watched the movie, be aware, spoilers are coming. Now, I say this movie is good, and I do believe that. I think it's a very good movie. Daniel Radcliffe's very good in it, and of course it's based on fact, so they want to keep true to the main story. However, I do think there's a couple of things keeping this movie back from being a spectacular movie. While there's a lot of tense scenes and build up and just wondering, are they going to get away with it? For the most part to that question, the answer is yes. There's never truly a point where it seems like they're going to get captured. Weirdly, it doesn't seem like this movie has an all is lost moment. And sure, you don't want to be a cookie cutter movie where they all have that predictable moment, but movies like this surely need a moment like that. A moment where it seems that all their work has gone to nothing, and now you could argue the scene at the end where they get to the final door and none of their keys work. That's kind of an all's lost moment, but it's resolved so quickly, it's not really an all's lost moment. An all's lost moment is where all of the planning goes to shit, basically. And it seems like all their work's been for nothing, they're back to square one, they're gonna have to figure out a new way of doing things. And sure, you're basing this on fact, so it's gotta be true to the real life story, but I just feel like they missed out on a trick in terms of the movie making of upping the tension even further. They did a great job in this movie of building some great tension and leaving you wondering, are they going to get away with this or are they going to get away with that? But in the end, the escape is very easy when you look at the face of it. Once they figure out how to make the keys, they basically make all the keys, they open the doors and they walk out without too much trouble. The security guard being a big guy and he's slow and kind of lazy for the most part, and for some reason he's got the really bad case of the shits, but that's just, I don't know why that's in it, but he did. But the security guard, the night security guard being so useless made their escape even easier. Sure, they had a scene where Daniel Radcliffe's cell's being tossed over and the guy finds one of the little key pieces and he asks him, what is it? And Daniel Radcliffe, thinking on his feet, says, it's a photograph holder, and the guy just buys it. And sure, that might be the case in real life, as I say, and I have to keep bringing that up, that this is based on fact, so I understand why they want to be true to real life. But scenes like that, while you're worried the officer's got to figure it out, the officers all come across as really stupid in the end, because they don't spot these things. They see the thing that looks like a key, they're told it's a holder, and he goes, okay, fine. And then he leaves. And then even the main, I think he's like second in command guard, he's seen outside a window when the guys are talking in the cell. They think he's overheard the plan, and a couple of times they make it seem like he knows what's going on or he's trying to figure out what's going on. But in the end, he had no idea, and he just left dumbfounded at the end is how they got out. Now, this is all based on if it was a scripted movie, an original idea. Obviously it's based on fact, and I feel like I'm ranting way too much about this, because as I say, I really enjoyed this movie. I feel it's just a shame there wasn't a couple more moments that just dramatized certain moments a little bit more and upped the ante a little bit more in certain areas. For example, the scene when Daniel Radcliffe is trying to get the key back, it's fallen off, he's got the broom handle, he's got the chewing gum on the end, he's trying to pick up the thing. Very tense scene, but you never feel he's in danger. There's no sound of a guard coming. We don't hear a guard whistling down the corridor like he's about to come through the door. We don't hear keys turning. For the most part, Daniel Radcliffe makes all this noise and banging around trying to get the key, but he's never really in danger. It's not like a guard appears a couple of seconds after he gets the key back, which will make you go, oh fuck, he just got away with it. No, he has trouble getting the key up, but he ultimately does get it up. That's out of context. He ultimately does get the key back with relative ease in the end. And that's my point. While there's a lot of tense moments, there's never really a danger of the guys getting captured. Even at the end when they're beating down the final door and they're going, oh my God, you're gonna make so much noise. They never show a guard going, what's that noise? Or a guard going, we better check that out. Or, hey, let's go figure out this thing. Or a guard just appearing somewhere and it making it seem like you're gonna get caught. No, they bash down that door, they escape, and that's it. But as I say, and I don't want to rant too much about it, I'm sure it sounds like I'm bashing the movie there. I don't mean to give out about the movie. As I say, I think it is a good movie. I just feel like they missed a little bit of a beat from a story making perspective. Although, I realise, as I've said many times throughout this movie, it's based on real life and you have to stay true to the real life story, and I'm sure to that aspect they did really well. I feel like I've been ranting way too much about that. But hopefully I got my point across there and I don't seem like a crazy person who's rambling on the internet, although a lot of my videos do seem like that. So, summary, overall, very good movie. Some great scenes in there, some very tense scenes that I feel could be slightly better with a little bit more anxiety added into them. Great performance by Daniel Radcliffe and co. Everybody puts in a good turn in this movie. And overall, a very enjoyable movie, well paced, decent soundtrack, good visuals, and a very enjoyable movie. For me, it's a 7 out of 10 movie, which, as I stated, if they just up the ante with a little bit more tension and a little bit more anxiety in some of the scenes, it could have been an 8 or even a 9 out of 10 movie. So if you haven't seen Escape from Pretoria, I'd highly recommend it. And if you have seen it, I'd love to know your opinions in the comments below. Let me know all about it. If you've enjoyed today's video, check out one of the other ones. We've got another video right over here for you to check out. And with all that said and done, thank you so much for watching.